Hi, this is Avgr with the US stock highlights here on Share Talk for Monday, the 11th of January. Starting off with Alrn Therapeutics, where there's been a nice gap to the upside after a gap initially to start the month, so all very healthy. We've got the initial peak for January so far at $1.45, and while we're above that on an end-of-day close basis, looking for $2.50 plus, which is the top of a rising trend channel from way back in September 2019, those halcyon days. Perhaps you could tighten up the stop loss down to today's intraday low at $1.56, but the gap floor at $1.45 looks to be the safer play ahead of $2.50 plus, hopefully by the end of next month. Moving along to the next situation, which is Avgr. Here we've got a decent break to the upside, already hitting the last target we had for the shares at $1 and above $1, looking for that peak from November 2019 again, around the $1.63 level. Hopefully that can be seen over the course of this week. If you're really optimistic about the shares, maybe you'd be looking for 160 area to be broken, and for the stock to head as high as the resistance line I'm trying to draw at the moment, which would be around the $2.80 level, hopefully by next month, the end of next month. But at least let's go for the $1.60 zone first. Stock which has had quite a lot of coverage here already, which is good news, given that it would imply that we've had a decent progression to the upside. You can see that here on the Bngo chart. Interesting that we've gapped through, after a failing last week, we've gapped through that old resistance there at $4.70 from October 2019, and at least while we're above today's intraday low at $5.23, looking for $8 plus, perhaps up to $9, which is a line of resistance from back in early 2019 in May of that year. So hopefully we could get to the $9 area as soon as the end of next month, while we remain above the $5 to $5.20 area on an end-of-day close basis. Next stock is one which is relatively new. Here we've got Mgen Therapeutics, but it looks very encouraging in the sense that we're just breaking that line of resistance from June last year. The $22 area, roughly where that line is placed at the moment, and an end-of-day close through that $22 mark. Hopefully enough to open up the prospect to $40 at the top of the rising trend channel from August 2019, and perhaps that could be hit as soon as the end of next month. At this stage, only really back below the 50-day moving average at $18, really delaying the upside scenario, but hopefully we'll have a reasonable flow through towards $25 first and then $40 after that. One of the more popular stocks around is coming up next, NEO. Here you can see that still gapping away quite happily. Top of the channel there around the 70, when it's now up to the $73 mark, and that was said we had $70 as our previous target. At least while we're above the floor of the latest gap at $59 on an end of day close basis, looking towards the top of the June 2020 price channel up to $73, hopefully as soon as the end of this month. It's another stock which is relatively familiar in this particular show is Ontx. A bit of jiggery-pokery there either side of the turn of the year, and also bouncing off the 200-day moving average, currently rising at 46 cents. At least while we're above the latest swing low for the shares around 53 cents, looking for higher prices. Obviously could potentially take out the recent high around 94 cents, but the big picture target here, hopefully by the end of next month, would be for Ontx to hit $1.40, $1.50 at the top of a rising trend channel from August last year, and that's as I said, valid while we hold above the 53 cents mark. Onto a stock which has had quite a few showings here, and continues to be one that is impressing us. We've got a nice gap to the upside at the beginning of the month for Peck Company Holdings, just looking for a clearance of this, the top of the channel at $15.70, end of day close above that, and we could have a fresh leg to the upside over the next couple of months to possibly hit the top of a rising June trend channel from 2019 as high as $35, hopefully by the end of March. At this stage, only really well below the recent support area around the $13 mark would really delay the upside scenario. $13 on an end of day close basis. Stock which is also worth keeping an eye on at the moment, Trxc. Here we've got a nice gap to the upside through the initial high of this month to date, which has been up at $1.29. Above that on an end of day close basis, looking as high as $3.50, hopefully by the end of next month. And ideally, there's no breakback below today's intraday floor at $1.51 in the meantime. Just a few more stocks to go now. First one is another familiar ticker code we've got coming up. Ontx Pharmaceuticals. Here you can see that we've gapped through a line of resistance from July last year. That was normally around the 90 cents level, while we're above 90 cents on an end of day close basis, looking for a 2 to 3 month target as high as $2.54, effectively retesting July 2020 resistance. So hopefully that will pan out relatively smoothly, but above 90 cents looks like a reasonable risk-reward trade there at Ontx. On to the next stock, which is Energous Corporation. Here, very nice looking progression over the last couple of days, or at least in fact since the beginning of the month, with a gap to the upside through the 50-day moving average. While there's no end-of-day close back below that late December peak at $2.73, we're looking towards $5, which is the top of a rising trend channel from back in October 2019. Hopefully $5 hit as soon as the end of next month, and hopefully sooner, given the way the shares are moving at the moment. We've got a couple of stocks to go now only. Zenetic Biosciences is the first one, and here we've had a near-term trend line break. That's from early December, and also gap through that line as well, which is helpful. The view at this stage is that at least while we're above the floor of the gap at $2.43, on an end of day close basis, we could go on to retest last month's resistance around the $5.85 level, hopefully as soon as the end of February. So let's see if that particular optimistic scenario will pan out. Finishing off with a personal favorite of mine, Zomedica, largely because it was so cheap. The very, very small ticket stock around the 20 cents level when it started to bubble up, 10 to 20 cents in fact, and really it's fulfilled most of our dreams. Everything which wasn't done so far, hasn't been done so far, is to break back above the $1 level. The high today, 96 cents, but end of day close through the 90 cents level could be enough to trigger a fresh leg to the upside at the top of a rising or a 2019 resistance line projection at $1.50, hopefully as soon as the end of next month, or at least 4 to 6 weeks after any end of day close through the 90 cents level. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.